Hello, everybody, and welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment. I am your host, Walter Bernasiak, and today we are talking about Superman Doomsday, the 2007 animated movie, and it's also the first in the DC Universe animated original movies, and we got some great people to talk about it right here. But before I introduce them, I want to thank you guys for watching our Injustice debates last week. That was great, right?
Yep.
The winner totally deserved it.
Yeah, that was an amazing, I wasn't expecting that.
Wasn't expecting that either, but it just happened. Would you like to see more of that kind of stuff? Let us know in the comments below. Also, keep giving us suggestions on our Versus series. We have a couple ideas for what we want to do next, but I want to hear what you guys want. We had a lot of really good suggestions in the Batgirl versus Robin debate. There's a lot of really good suggestions, so keep giving us more on those, and we'll try to put one of those out for you guys. Also, as always, like the new Facebook page. It's facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. Porter's review of Arrow Season 4 is up there exclusively on the Facebook page. Also, an entire extra round from our Batgirl versus Robin episode is still available on that Facebook page, so extra content always going up on there. Pictures, reviews, etc. Always on that Facebook page, so go like it right now. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you guys now. We'll go with Mr. Porter first. He's got the Irish hat. He's got the Justice League shirt. You know him. I know him. Mr. Brian Porter. Yes.
So,
how's it feel?
Good.
Happy 4th of July, man.
Happy 4th of July to you.
Yeah.
And to the country.
Yeah, and to the country. United States of America, that is. I know we have some international watchers. It's, this is a big deal here in America.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And we have, as always, Miss Ayanna Wade. How's it going, Ayanna?
Hey guys, good. Happy birthday to my sister. She was born. She's an Independence baby.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. I have a great aunt who says happy birthday.
Oh, there you go.
That's
yeah.
right.
Happy birthday to all the firecracker babies out
Yeah.
there.
I got no one. I got no.
America's birthday.
Okay. So, America, everybody. And besides Captain America, who's like the most American superhero? It's Superman, right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that.
All-American Boy Scout.
All-American Boy Scout, Kryptonian guy, totally.
He's not even born in America.
He's the ultimate immigrant. He's the ultimate immigrant. Everybody loves it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this movie. We're going to go positives first. Ayanna, what did you think of this upon this rewatch, or this first time you saw it?
I thought I saw it before, but I wiped all memory of it, I guess. So it was at least like watching it like new, and I loved it. It's a really, really good animated film. It's a really good Superman film. Action-packed for an animated film. Really, really well done. I love all the voice actors in it. We'll get into that later. But overall, loved it.
Okay, Warner?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. Love the animation style, very Bruce Timm.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So they're still like towards the original animation styles for DC animation, which is great. Voice actors were pretty good, like you said. I like the general tone of the movie. I thought it was good, flowed well, and was very iconic storyline.
Definitely.
So they had to change some stuff, but I thought it worked really well. And as a starting point for the DC animated universe, it's really good. It's a good place to start, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are going to say it's not the DC animated. We know it's not the Bruce Timm. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this is the first in the line of the original movies that they've come out with, and this was in 2007. So it's been going for almost 10 years now with these movies, and a lot of them are really good. And this was a really good starting point. I agree with you.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it. I still think that this is one of the better DC animated movies. It's still in the top 10 for me, like towards the bottom of the top 10. But still in there. I mean, this is still a really good self-contained story. Like Porter said, it doesn't bring in everything from the death and return of Superman, because you can't do that in 70 minutes. There's no way. There's so many characters and all this crazy stuff that happens with that storyline. But as a self-contained movie, if someone just watching it and maybe wasn't that familiar with the death and return of Superman, it's definitely really enjoyable. The fights are, oh man, the Doomsday fight is incredible. The animation style I really like, and just how everything moves is really, really well done. The action is just, I'm not sure if there's got to be a couple other ones that have better action. Maybe, I can't think of any offhand right now, but in terms of a big, just superhuman fight, this one is top notch. I mean, it's the quality of this fight where they fight inside of Metropolis and everything with Doomsday and Superman. And later, Superman versus Superman was not bad either. But I think that's one of the biggest and best qualities of this movie is the action, absolutely 100% for sure. For you guys, we talked a little bit about the voice actors, but we had Adam Baldwin play Superman here.
Jane.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that casting?
I liked him. I liked him a lot. He's a good voice actor in general, so I like him.
Yeah, he sounded good, and he had a decently nice Superman tone to him. But I kept on hearing James.
Yeah.
Like it was.
He's a local guy. He's from Winnetka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it was hard to separate. After a little while, I got into it and it was fine. But like it's just like, the hero of Canton keeps playing in my head.
That was me with Toyman. Is Bender.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
And
I
Jake,
heard that
Jake the
too.
dog. Yeah.
He's also Joker
Yeah.
in Red Hood.
That's John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he was. I couldn't unhear Bender.
I got nothing to say to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
my play date, creepy as hell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
What
that
do you
baby
guys
with
think
an
of Lois?
Fine.
And-
Actually, I know you don't really like her, but
I don't like
I
Anne
was
Heche.
fine with her.
Hit and miss, I think.
Yeah,
for me.
she sounded really weird.
I liked her animation a lot, though. Actually,
The character model was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it looked good.
unlike I'm sorry, with Superman's face.
That was the
They
line.
wanted.
I
I think they
weird.
wanted. They wanted to differentiate him from the Superman animated and Justice League
Okay.
thing, so they put a little bit more detail and they gave him those weird cheekbones things.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I don't know if it was supposed to be his nasolabial folds that are like out here, or if those were like
I
his
think
really
it's
defined,
just his
like
really defined, like
face.
cheekbones
jaw.
and coming down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Magnum.
weird. I mean, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
But with Anne Heche, I don't really like her
Mm-hmm.
as an actor, person, whatever. She was okay in this, but
I don't like her as a person.
I just don't really
It's
like
nothing
her.
personal, I just
The
hate
only
her.
thing that she was ever good in was the '90s gem Volcano, and that was just perfect film in
Mwah.
all respects. Thank you, Tommy Lee, for that
So good.
amazingness. But other than that, I wasn't really a fan of her.
Right.
But James Marsters, Spike as
Really good as Lex.
Lex,
Spike?
I think he was the best of the characters.
Oh,
I
I
thought
loved him as Lex,
he
yeah.
He's
had
a
a
creepy
really
Lex.
good gravitas to
Yeah,
him.
definitely.
And his character model was cool. He was a little
Yeah,
bit skinnier
skinnier.
than the
Yeah.
versions that we usually see. But he did great as him, I thought it worked really well. So
I agree with you.
it was weird. I could still hear Spike in there,
I,
but in an American accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't place it at first because I was very confused at the American. I was like, why does it sounds so familiar? I
I know.
can't figure out who did it.
Yeah. He got to play Brainiac in Smallville too, so
Yeah.
he's been kind of all over the place in terms of DC animated villains, or villains in general, I should say.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So go ahead, sorry, go
That's-
ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
I went off the tracks. Any other big things you really liked about the movie, you guys?
Again, like the action sequences I really liked. There was the specific with Doomsday fight of him smashing Superman into that boulder was really palpable.
Right.
Yeah.
For an action sequence, I really like that. And the he lifted him by the jaw
Yes.
and threw him.
Right, that was
That was
cool.
amazing. The action in general,
It was great.
really well
At one
done.
point, Doomsday powerbombed Superman, so I know there's some wrestling fan who just added a little powerbomb in there.
I really liked it when he's on the bridge and they start firing at him, and the tank shoots the big missile at him.
Oh, he just
and
punches
and
it?
He punches
Yeah.
it and it just flies right through it. I was like,
Yeah.
There's a couple
Oh,
moments
that's
like that where
awesome.
things slow down for a quick second when Superman's punching him. It goes really fast and really, get a couple
Yeah.
slow motion frames in there.
I
It
like
looks really good.
there's a part in it too when Doomsday hits the building and then the floors all crash down. That whole little sequence there reminded me of. Did you guys ever play Rampage?
Yeah.
The fight in general
course. Yeah.
sort of reminded me a little
Okay.
bit of Rampage because a lot of
That-
throwing stuff and people running around.
I didn't
was
think
like,
of
oh,
that.
it's Rampage all over
That's pretty
again.
cool.
I don't know. It just reminded me of that.
Right. Okay, we'll go on to the negatives here. I think that a lot of people who are comic book purists will complain about the lack of
content.
from I said before about the Death and Return of Superman, there's so many different things that they could have put in. And in the audio commentary, Bruce Timm talks about, we only had 70 minutes to do this, and this was the first one. I mean, since they're doing obviously Killing Joke, which we're so looking forward to. They've done a 2-part for Dark Knight Returns. I think if they did redo this now, or if they waited to do this till later, they would probably do a 2-part thing, like a Death and Return of Superman, part 1, part 2, kind of.
Absolutely.
And I would love to see that if they ever, would go back to this, but I don't think they will. They already treaded territory with this, and they have more comics to adapt still, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I would totally be down to see something like that, a bigger scale thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit of a negative. We didn't get to see Superboy, the Eradicator, Cyborg Superman, but still some cool stuff as a self-contained story. Any big negatives besides Anne Heche's lowest for you, Porter?
Not really. Sometimes the animation flowed a little strangely. Like I think in certain scenes, like the animation flowed a little weird. But for the most part, I liked it. I didn't really have too much to say about it, like negative-wise. Yeah, just lowest pretty much for me. I wasn't a huge fan.
I just thought of like the one part that was really like, but in a good way.
Sorry, dude.
Is the part when the clone Superman goes to the salon and he's sitting in the chair and he looks in the mirror and he like sees through like everything and then sees the little like kryptonite ball in his brain and then lasers it out. Like heat
grabs
vision,
the little
like,
thing and you hear it going.
So disturbing.
Safe Superman is a safe metropolis.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. That was
that
funny.
was. Yeah.
Could you? He digs into his own brain with a pair of scissors.
Well, but he
Also as a
no,
clone.
he has
Can
heat
you do
vision.
that?
He uses the mirror to like
He melts
it through, and then just takes it out with like. Scissors.
So he's melting his own brain.
Yeah.
Like, can you function like that? Is
Well, it's Superman,
Yeah.
so
And it was a
can't
clone.
regenerate
he
brain
should've-
cells, but he might.
Well,
be.
I'm sure he can.
Maybe like had like a lazy eye for 10 minutes or.
I know he can regenerate brain cells, but like as it's happening, shouldn't have been like he gets through and it's like, and then a second later he wakes up.
a little
like,
bit of a stroke face.
Right, I thought that should have happened, but I mean that wasn't that big of a deal. The only so to piggyback off your Lois thing, the only scene I thought really didn't work for me was when Lois went to see Martha, yeah.
Martha! No, sorry.
Sorry. Martha. I went to go see Martha Kent, and that scene seemed really, really forced. Like she like bawls on her doorstep, it's like to be loved by him, and then the whole scene I thought didn't work very well. But that's the only real negative I think I could point out.
But I did like that they were able to like throw it back at the end with the I know you're Clark now, and she's like, call your mom. I like that.
No, that's
That was
cool.
really
I think it was good that she went to see her and like she's looking for someone to connect with. Totally makes sense. But I just thought the scene in particular, the way it was set up, it didn't work very well for me.
And there were small attentions to detail that I really liked too, like that Kevin Smith cameo.
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
That was so funny. I love that Kevin Smith cameo.
And that calls back to his writing on Superman Lives. I mean, the giant spider thing.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that, go watch an evening with Kevin Smith. He talks about how he wrote his time on writing Superman Lives, the Nicolas Cage, Tim Burton movie that didn't come out. You can also check out The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened by John Schnepp. I donated to, by the way, and I still haven't gotten all my rewards there, Mr. Schnepp. That was like years ago, man. Maybe you should send me the stuff you owe me. I don't know. Thanks, pal. But anyway, that's a really interesting documentary, though. So go pick that up. It has more about that, and Kevin Smith's interviewed and stuff, and he goes into detail about that. But that was just this really cool little subtle. Like, oh, we gotta have him fight a giant spider? Lame.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I like that.
I agree.
I really like that fight scene with Lex and Superman in the Red Room.
The Red Room with the gauntlet, the kryptonite gauntlets.
Cool.
I liked that audition in general, and even the whole like him feeling so safe in that room, and then Clone Superman's like, well, I'll just pick up
Isn't
the whole
that
room.
stupid though? He comes in the room, turns on the red kryptonite rays or whatever, or the red sun rays, and he's got the kryptonite knuckles. He's like, "Come to Papa," and he's like outside.
Yeah.
Well,
He's obviously not going to go in there. Lex.
And I was just like, ha.
Yeah.
He got cocky.
Yeah.
He thought he would.
He got too cocky.
I like it.
Right. So I wanted to compare this a little bit to the Death and Return of Superman comic. So I brought that here. I'll talk about it in detail a little bit more when we talk about Pick of the Week. But like we said before, there's a lot of stuff in here that's not in the movie, and I know people who love this would be upset that it's not in the film adaptation of it. So The Death and Return of Superman is one of the most iconic, huge stories of the 1990s. I mean, Superman was one of the first big characters to die in comics and then come back later, and that sort of opened the gate for all these other characters to die and come back. Check out Max Landis's Superman, Death and Return of Superman little mini documentary thing. I don't know what you even call that.
Yeah.
Short film thing he did.
That was
really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that was really cool. So you can check that out for more details on it and comparisons. But Yeah, there's a lot of characters from the DC universe that actually fight Doomsday first before Superman does in the comic. Booster Gold and
Blue Beetle,
like a ton of people.
Guy Gardner.
Right, Guy Gardner. A ton of people go after him first, and they all get either killed or mangled or whatever before Superman takes a shot at Doomsday. So all that's missing. The return to Superman, which they also handle in here, like I said. I mean, there's all these pretenders that come out, Cyborg Superman. I remember picking up the Cyborg Superman comic in the 90s. I remember actually getting that. I should have brought it. But it's a really cool cover that's cut out, and you open it, and then there's Cyborg, the Superman logo, and you open it, and it's half robot Superman. You know what he looks like. Yeah, it's that was crazy. They have Superboy, which is a clone of Superman, which they later, retconned whatever into Connor Kent, which is right now. And the Eradicator, which was like a robot Superman who comes alive when Superman's dead to protect. It's very strange. Some people love it, some people hate it, but that is missing from this. And like I said before, I would love to see a two-part bigger arc on this to properly do it one day. Maybe they won't do it, but it would be interesting nonetheless to see.
Yeah, I think for a movie that specifically called itself Superman Doomsday, you weren't really expecting the death and return. It was more of a Doomsday thing going into it, and he's really only in it for like
he's in the beginning,
10 minutes,
right?
Yeah.
But I think people always associate Doomsday with the death of Superman, though. So
That's true.
Yeah. It's still one of the highest like grossing DVDs that they've sold. It might, I have to double check, but it might be still like the top one. It was for a long time. I'm not sure if it's been surpassed or not, but so people still respond to like the death of Superman even all these years later. It's very
it's iconic,
weird.
I mean,
right.
Regardless of what medium you see it in, it's going to be iconic for a long time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to talk to you guys about where this ranks for you in terms of like the DC animated movies. We've all seen a pretty decent amount of these. So where does this rank for you guys? For me, it's like near the bottom of the top 10, but still in the top 10.
I would agree with that. It's not my favorite by any means, but it's still really, really well done.
Yeah,
specifically because of the action sequences and how they're able to do that. Story-wise, it's not as like heavy with like plot, I would say. I mean, it still has
or emotion
one,
as much, like kind of like with Under the Hood, Under the Red Hood,
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't delve that deep.
it doesn't. But the action sequences are really well done.
Yeah.
And it's a good cast. It's a really good cast. I like listening to my favorite peeps.
I like Perry White. Who's Perry White?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Ray Wise.
Yeah,
Right,
Ray White.
good.
He's actually
He's
going to be
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
I know, I'm Killing Joke.
Yep, that's
I'm
awesome.
really excited for that. He, I like him in a lot of things. He's in Psych. I like him in, what was that, Reaper? Did you ever watch Reaper?
Yeah,
I
he was
loved
in Reaper.
him.
He was, what's her name's dad? Robin Scherbatsky's dad in
That's
How I
right.
Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Like, he's great in everything.
I like how the one line was like, "Who's that guy in black?" I'm like, "Who cares? He's kicking the crap out of Superman."
Or he's kicking
Superman's
Superman's
ass.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of
Superman's
looks
ass.
at him like,
Yeah.
really?
Long-haired Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
that's
really long hair.
that's the thing
Fur,
in this. When he
yeah.
comes
Yeah.
back, he has long hair in the '90s for a while.
very long
The
hair.
Yeah.
It's not quite a mullet, but
It's
almost.
not.
Yeah.
But almost.
Quite,
It's
yeah.
almost mullety. But it's a little
He's got some
mullety.
layers
It's
in
the
there.
90s
Right.
mullet. It's like,
It's a not.
Not
what was
feathered,
it?
Ben-
Nightwing had it.
Right, Ben
Didn't
Reilly
Kyle
had-
Rayner have it at some point, maybe? No.
I don't think so. I know
No?
Ben Reilly had it. Though,
Yeah, true.
which
Yeah.
looked
The
really
90s
weird.
mullet, man, it was
Yeah.
just awful.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we all agree this is one of the better ones. that
Yeah,
they've
it's
come
more
out with.
towards the bottom for me, too. I'd have to really think
of
about
the
it.
top
but-
10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the big things,
Mm-hmm.
one of the big things for me is the animation, because I really do
It's
not
great,
enjoy new animation styles. Like
Mm.
Flashpoint to me was one of the
Here we
worst
go.
animated.
Bring the hate.
Yeah.
Bring it.
It's an opinion. It's fine.
hated
It's fine.
Flashpoint's
Okay.
animation style. It was awful. I could not stand
A
it.
lot of people love that movie.
And it's just like we don't need an anime for these comics. Like the art styles of these comics are so good and so unique. And I know they're hard to translate on a screen. If you can do it as best you can, I think it would be well received. Just like
Right.
they're doing with Boland's art for Killing Joke.
Right.
They couldn't quite do it 100%, so they chose an artist who was similar, and they kind of gave it its own tone, but it's still very reminiscent
Yeah.
of Boland. So like if you were to do that for these comics, I think it would do better. So, but even with Bruce Timm's style, it's iconic. It's what we all grew up on.
It's a little bit more
the best.
detailed of Bruce Timm's style. It
Yeah.
is. He's still in there, but it's a little more detailed, a little more. Just a little more. A couple more like lines are drawn. You could see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it a lot as well.
In the face area.
In the face there, we love the.
I'm sorry.
The
I'm
cheeks.
sure people love it, but
I know.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Well, okay. So pick of the week is the death of Superman. So this is one of the highest selling, if not the highest selling, graphic novel like of all time. It came out obviously as single issues first, but then after it came out in tradeback form or paper tradeback form, people bought this, ate this thing up. It was mainstream news when Superman died. Like this was a big deal back in the 90s. So this is, I mean, just as a historical book, it's a good thing for someone who's into comics to go ahead and check out. It's not expensive. It's old. Mine's got like, I can't remember where I bought it, but it's got like a bunch of like water damage. I don't know how that happened, but
from your tears.
From my tears of Superman dying.
Superman died.
That's what it is. This one goes up through the death of Superman. So this isn't the return of Superman. There's an omnibus, I think, of all that stuff you could check out. Those things are huge.
Yeah.
But that has like every issue of him coming back and all the different characters who try to take his place. That's all in there. So if you're interested in seeing and reading some of that stuff, go ahead and check this out. And if not, if you just want to watch the movie, like a more succinct little version, go ahead and check out Superman Doomsday. It is well worth your time, and I think most people will enjoy it. Okay, so guys, social medias. We all have accounts. Ayana, where can we find you?
Facebook, Twitter. I got an Instagram out there too. Some of you know, some of you already follow me. If you don't, you can if you want to. You don't have to. Do you?
Whatever. Border?
Facebook. What was it? Facebook.com/AwesomePorter. I
Slash
totally
Awesome
forgot
Porter.
for a second. Yeah.
That's your thing, man.
Find me on
Start
there.
posting some stuff on there, man.
I should. I really should. I really should.
Get some stuff up on there. As for me, I'm always on Twitter at @awesome_Walter. I've been posting a lot about the Power Rangers movie lately. Bryan Cranston
casting.
is Zordon.
That's gonna be interesting.
The poster came out. I have no idea what to think about that. So follow me on there for right. I'm definitely gonna see it.
Gonna see it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on there. Also, make sure like the Facebook page, facebook.com/AwesomeComicsShow. Check that out. Exclusive stuff.
Content.
Yep.
Always going up on there all the time. And give us suggestions on what DC animated movie you want us to cover next. We're going to do our best. This is a long-term project. We're going to do our best to get through all of these. So what one do you want to see us cover next? I'm sure maybe Flashpoint Paradox. We could talk about our problems then. I actually like the movie a lot. It's just, I'm not a big
Story's
fan of the animation
good,
to tell you.
but-
That's just me.
It's gonna be an interesting episode.
Yeah. Okay, so until next week, I want to thank you guys for joining us today, and I want to thank you for watching this. And until next week, I'm Walter Bernasiak, and we will see you on the next page. Happy 4th of July! Celebrate! Hot dogs! Yay!